The hearing of the habeas corpus application filed by the lawyers of former presidential candidate Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haji Obeid Lutale was initially scheduled for Tuesday next week. However, the hearing date was moved up to today after Parliament took an interest in the matter due to the deteriorating health condition of Dr. Besigye, compelling the state to expedite the hearing process. The lawyers are specifically seeking the release of Dr. Kizza Besigye, Obeid Lutale and other suspects who have appeared before military courts, arguing that the Supreme Court ruled that military courts lack the jurisdiction to try civilians. Besigye and Lutale were arrested in Nairobi, Kenya on November 16, 2024. They face charges related to national security, illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, and treachery before the General Court-Martial. The two were produced in court this morning, but presiding judge Douglas Singiza ordered their return to prison due to Dr. Besigye's serious health condition. The lawyers protested the decision, but the court proceeded without Besigye and Lutale.
On whose orders and under whose authority are the applicants in detention? Number two, what is the criminal case number? The Supreme Court having said the prosecution ceases and with immediate effect by 31st. By fall of night 31st, the criminal case number for the General Court-Martial ceased. The Supreme Court did not say that those who are incarcerated should remain incarcerated, except for those who had been convicted.
Everything about that defunct General Court-Martial was nullified. We cannot continue discussing putting something on nothing, my lord.
The state attorney argued that the Attorney General had already initiated the process to transfer the files of civilians undergoing trials in military courts to civilian courts in line with the Supreme Court's ruling.
This application is misconceived because the applicants are aware that they are in detention legally, and the state is not denying where they are. And at any time you want to look at him, you can even visit him, anyone can visit him. And if anyone can want him to be produced in court, can be produced in court. But ordering his release would be in contempt of the Supreme Court decision.
However, the state attorney acknowledged the substantial workload involved, given the large number of files in military courts, which may delay the transfer of cases involving civilians from the General Court-Martial to civilian courts. When asked about the timeline for the transfer process, the state attorney did not provide an answer, stating that it would be premature to estimate the time frame due to the complexities of the process. The defense lawyers then asked the court to compel prison authorities to release Dr. Besigye on health grounds.
The circumstances compel that an order be issued for Dr. Besigye to regain his liberty, to be able to access a medical facility of his choice so that he can be thoroughly examined to assess his health situation and get proper or specialized treatment.
That request was ultimately denied. Judge Douglas Singiza adjourned the matter and indicated that he would issue his ruling at a later date. He also suggested the possibility of consolidating the cases of Dr. Kizza Besigye and Obeid Lutale and that of Aaron Kizza, who also appeared in court today. Kizza is seeking release after General Court-Martial Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Mugabe sentenced him to 9 months in prison last month for contempt of court.
We have been directed that tomorrow we write to the judge requesting for the date when the decision will be delivered. It's really baffling.
I'm devastated, but I'm not surprised. Besigye is a captive. He was kidnapped. This cadre judge, shame on him.
This is not prosecution, this is persecution. Dr. Besigye would not be brought to court today if it was not for pressure. You notice this is the same judge that sent Kakwenza to prison instead of sending him to the ICU after grave torture.
Daniel Kibet, NTV.